Yes, yes, yes. You already know what it is. It's Brandon Trish coming to you live in Atlanta. These Urban Times presents Sideline Stories, aka Sneaker Talk, with my man Mo. What's going on? How you doing today, brother?
Doing good, man. How are you?
I mean, good, good. Wednesday night in Atlanta. See what's going on in the city, possibly. Who
There
knows?
you go. I feel you. I feel you. Okay, you in the A. All right, I'm out here in Portland, Oregon, so it's
The
a little
rainy
bit
city.
quieter up here. Yeah, it's a little bit quieter up in the Northwest.
Yeah. So how is things up there in the Northwest? I mean, I got only people I know who up there are athletes. So you might be the
Yeah, I
first I
mean,
know of
it's
Portland.
yeah, it's cool. It's a quiet little city for the most part. I tell people if you're familiar with Seattle at all in any capacity, it's like a sister city to Seattle.
Mm.
I mean, you get a lot of up here Nike, Adidas, White and Kennedy, like the agency type folks and whatnot. So community is super tight knit. You bump into who's who, right? Like, so me being a Nike employee, I bump into people all the time on campus, whether it be athletes, whether it be, people who are doing brand partnerships with or whatever the case is. So it's tucked away in the Pacific Northwest, but it's a dope little spot.
Right. And speaking that you did say that, we have met all through Clubhouse, through a few
Yep.
rooms. Shout out
Yep.
to Dukes and said Walk Like Us room, and a few other rooms we've been in. And I definitely I felt it was good energy. You know what I'm saying? Especially somebody who worked in Nike. I was like, yo, he knows what you're talking about. Let me interview him. I'm in the sneakers. I know a lot of folks I know are in the sneakers and they don't really know how to, they don't get the opportunity to probably meet somebody who works for the brand that
Yeah.
we wear.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
give your story, so let the people know about you.
Cool. Let's see. So yeah, I've been at Nike now, I want to say 3.5 years. Um, wasn't, I mean, it's always been a dream company of mine to work for. I didn't know how I was going to get there. I didn't know what the path was like to get there. And truth be told, honestly, before I got to Nike, I was working for a startup company based in San Francisco called Everlane. And, even before that, while I was still in college, fresh out of college, I was applying for jobs at Nike, just throwing applications out, hoping, something would stick, right?
Right.
And it wasn't until my contract was almost about to end with my last company, and it was like, all right, time to figure out what my next move is. I reached out to one of my homies that works at Nike. She's actually in Nike Golf right now, actually. So I reached out to her, sat down for a little while. We kind of game planned what it was going to take for me to get to Nike, essentially. And she goes, it might take 3 to 6 months, but if you put in the work, if you want to meet people, network and whatnot, we can hopefully get something for you. Less than 2 hours later, my resume was in the hands of a hiring manager, essentially, that wanted to bring me in, and I got the job, which is within a week, basically. When I interviewed, killed it, and started out in HR. Now working, for lack of I tell people global strategies, called strategic enterprise capabilities. So basically, we're taking Nike's entire ERP implementation system, like we're revamping everything, basically. In all of our geos across the globe. We're starting in China, and then we're going to work our way, around the world and whatnot. So it's actually been a dope experience for me. I say the role that I'm in right now as a content and change person, it's been very challenging. I've been able to learn a lot through it. I tell people it's like the crash course that I like to grad school, essentially, because I didn't get a master's degree or anything like that, but I feel like what I'm learning every day is going to apply to a bunch of different realms of life and work going forward. So it's been a nice 3.5 years.
Yeah, definitely, especially coming from, like you said, something that probably took 6 to 8 months, got the hands of the right person.
Yeah.
And you would listen a week later, you work with Nike.
Yep.
So working for Nike, so kind of like, I know it's a huge campus. I mean, I've seen videos and things like that. I know it's a huge campus. Like, is it kind of like whatever the division you work in, like that's your team? Like, you don't never really see anybody outside the office?
So the campus is like a college campus, which is super dope, right? So you got a bunch of different buildings, and I could be in the Michael Jordan building and need to go to the Pete Sampras building or Ken Griffey Jr. building, whatever the case is, and for a meeting, to pick up a package, to whatever the case is, have lunch with somebody. So when you're walking campus, you see people all the time. You see people in different departments and whatnot. But we also have a lot of what we call off-campus hubs and buildings and whatnot, right? So my team right now, we're sitting in what we're calling the old golf building. It used to be where they housed all the golf team and whatnot. And that's about 3 to 5 minutes away driving distance from campus. So me personally, I've been siloed away to where I don't get to see people and be in the mix as much as I want.
Right.
But it's dope because I do end up trying to make sure at least once a week, pre-pandemic and whatnot, I would head over to main campus, grab lunch with somebody, or even just grab lunch solo. It's like, all right, I got some time in between meetings, or I got some time where I can just sit down and work, pack up my laptop, go sit at one of the buildings in campus, main campus, and just kind of freestyle from there. So that's the dope part about it. It's like you can connect with people and you can stay connected with people because everybody's always moving around on campus and whatnot too. And one of the dope things is, people are always willing to kind of, for the most part, talk to you, meet with you, 30-minute coffee, whatever the case may be, sit down and just kind of chop it up and just talk life, talk career, talk whatever. So it's been cool.
No, that's definitely dope. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, like it's the college campus, so you already know when you go to school, you meet people from different walks of life, different backgrounds, different ethnicities, and all that. So everybody has one common goal. Y'all work for this huge, multi-billion-dollar company,
Absolutely.
And obviously, so it's like you all have one goal, like y'all on one team, but y'all on different divisions in a sense. So since y'all all up there in Portland, and there is another company that's up there in Portland, like how does that really intertwine? I have heard you in the room say you have friends with the other company.
Yep. Yeah.
So I know how's like the competitiveness with that in between the friendships.
It's there. I mean, you can't understate it essentially, right? Like you're looking at two of the biggest sneaker, and sports apparel giants, North America, or this is our global headquarters. This is their North America headquarters. I know Adidas is based in Germany, I believe.
Germany,
home base and whatnot, but we're both in the backyard of Portland. One's on the east side, one's out in Beaverton, the suburbs. And, it's funny because it's like, you see these two giants and in between is the city of Portland. And, it's interesting because, there's always the politics that go, that come into play and whatnot. But like I've told people all the time, one of my best friends before I got to Nike, right? Like I'm 15 years, 16 years, deep relationship with my guy. So he's a sports marketing dude over at Adidas, and he has a who's who of the clients over there. So
is it JR?
JR, yeah. JR's big bro. So it's always been love with me. Like I have a handful of Adidas friends, and people go back and forth and whatnot as far as working for the companies. It's just one of those things you have to understand. I tell people all the time, is like these brands are going to exist with or without us. We're the type of people we want to make sure that we get in and we help elevate the culture, the people, the product, that everything that we come from, right? That companies and brands draw inspiration from. It looks better, it feels better when we're telling those stories, when we're the ones, behind pushing the buttons and making decisions and whatnot. So it's like whenever my man has a successful, event, product launch, whatever the case is, I might shoot him a text like, yo, bro, I see you out there. Like we do what we call sneaker wars sometimes. It's not even like real sneaker wars, like where we're battling, but it's like, all right, we check each other's feet every time, we
what you got on.
It's like, all right, what you got on? All right, those the new Dames? Okay, all right. I might have on, some new Jordans or whatever the case is. So we go back and forth that way. He'll be like, I don't really like those. It's like, I don't really like those, and we just be jabbing at each other, but it's all love.
Friendly competition.
Yeah, friendly competition. Of course, absolutely.
So, I mean, that's always, I've kind of been threshold of Nike guy because, I mean, Jordan brought Nike, Air Force Ones. Then you got the who's of who's been, the top athletes all with Nike.
Yep.
So what goes in per se of someone who signs with Nike, then y'all looking into getting them a signature shoe, or like what kind of work they have to put in to get that?
That question, honestly, I don't know. I'm gonna be 1,000% honest with you. Like what goes into it, I think more so, and this is me speaking, not necessarily on behalf of the company, and more so just right? Like just speculating, just like kind of just rapping with you. To me, if I look across the landscape, right, and I know right now we have at least on the Nike side, LeBron, KD, PG, Kyrie, Giannis. Those 5 active players right now. Hopefully I'm not forgetting anybody, right? So
that's everybody.
Yeah. So it's like you look at those guys, at least, Bron and KD goes without saying, right? And then you look at Giannis, like there's a global aspect of that for him, right? Where he can kind of, fill a lane and really kind of, be a global marketer to products, outside of just America and Milwaukee and whatnot, right? And then it's like, just Paul George and Kyrie put their time in, right? They're elite, MVP caliber type players. Kyrie's won a championship. So, I think all those different kind of things, marketability, it all plays a mix, right? Like your success. I see you wearing the USA hat, right? Like
Oh yeah.
the global aspect of growing the game, growing the brand, representing what, Nike is all about and whatnot. I think, there's a lot that goes into it. And I know I'm assuming as a company, we're very strategic about who we pick and when we pick them as far as when to give them signature shoes and whatnot. But, it's always interesting. Actually, one thing that I do love seeing that I've seen lately is what's happening over on the Jordan side. Signing a bunch of both NBA and WNBA players. Like the haul that we have right now, it's like, it's funny, like on Twitter, anytime we sign somebody, right, add somebody to the family, I'll tweet, I'll quote the tweet like stocks going up, right? Because it's like it's dope to see the women getting the love now for the for the first time really ever, like being pushed to the forefront, right? And it's dope to see this young crop of players come in, right? Where it's like Luka, Zion, Jason Tatum, Ruri, like you got players who are like, oh, okay, this is the future of the league and it's the future of the industry too, in a lot of ways.
Right, and especially with Jordan, because if you've been on, the Jordan athletes were like the Ray Allens, the Mike Bibby, Joe Johnsons, Mike Finleys, and now after a while they kind of got stagnant, and they didn't really have any signature athletes. You had Blake, CP,
Carmelo,
and Russ, and Melo, and then now it's like, I think when they signed Zion, I was like, okay, I already know the bidding war was ridiculous between just in house between Nike and Jordan.
I'm sure it was. Yeah.
I've heard a story like it was ridiculous, and then when he signed the deal with Jordan, I was kind of shocked. I thought he was going Nike, just off GP. And I was like, oh, he was on Jordan, okay. Then you signed Luka, then you signed Rory.
Yeah,
I was like, okay. Then I said, yo, I see it. Jordan is Nike and Jordan is investing more into the new age, the new generation of athletes, especially with getting those. You still have the OGs. But now they looking more into the future, especially not going into football with signing Stephon Diggs, and my LSU boys, Jarvis Landry and Devin White. So I was like, I was especially geeked over that. And then now, like you said, with the WNBA, and especially with them now, the women getting more love and bring their creativity to shoes. And especially shout out to my girls over there, made for women, made for the W, the sneaker brand over there. So I mean, I definitely like what they got going on, especially with push things forward, let players be creative. Zion got his shoe just came out. So I was definitely impressed by that.
I gotta see that. I haven't seen it in person yet, but I'm definitely looking forward to seeing it and possibly trying it out, see what it feels like. So stay tuned. I'll report back on that one.
So with you being at Nike, I know you had a bunch of friends. Like, what's one of the craziest stories? I know everybody probably think you the plug every day, everything like that. I know that story. I used to work in retail. So I already know everybody thought I was the shoe man, and I'm like, bro, I have no more plug for real like that than you do.
Exactly.
But especially you being in Beaverton, like, what kind of crazy stories do people ask you for? I know you get all kind of crazy things.
Wow, like it's not necessarily the crazy stories. It's just like people will ask me just all the time, right? It's like, all right, well, actually one time somebody asked me if I could ask Phil Knight for a job, and I was just like, okay, well, Phil's not like day to day. He's not even here. You know what I mean? Like, he's like this. Like, he's
probably been across the country somewhere.
Yeah, like you got to go back way back. Like you're talking 90s, 2000s if you want to see Phil Knight type of thing on a day to day basis. I think it was Mark Parker that was our CEO at the time. But it's like it's the typical like, yo, bro, you sneaker plug. Can you get this for me? Can you get that for me? Oh, I know you have all of this, like the Jordan 3s that came out today. James Whitner, them joints came out. I missed out. Like I didn't get them, right? I love those joints. University. I got the university. No, the University Force. I didn't try for. I didn't try for the University Force, but
I struck out.
Yeah, right. People give me a hard time a lot of the time because it's just like, oh yeah, Mo, I know you got her. I know you got the plug. When in reality, I tell people a lot of times it's like being in Portland. There's only a few spots where you can really get sneakers at. You know what I mean? You have to try and hit on sneakers because it's like LA, New York, Chicago, I'm sure Miami, places in Texas, like some of these bigger cities that have different, mom and pop type shops, bigger box type stores, whatever the case is. And they got Nike locations there where it's like there's more opportunity to grab some of this product. Whereas here in Portland, it's a smaller city, so it's it's kind of limited essentially. So that's one misconception that I think people have a lot of times. Like, but I tell people I'm as honest as I can be with it. I'm like, yo, like I ain't got it. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's one of those things that's like, if I ever got to a position where I can make a decision, yeah, I'll make a decision. Like, I want to see the people win. You know what I mean? Like, we all
Right.
fight against bots. We all fight against, resellers and the whole industry and whatnot. But it's like, that's a part of where the game is at right now. Like, I single-handedly can't do anything about it, right? Like, I'm just a
Right.
little
You don't make the call.
yeah, in the machine. So
how did the company feel, Mrs. You are with the whole story that came out with the lady whose son was?
oh man, that was kind of wild. Like I always tell people, I preface it every time. It's like, I definitely don't want to speak on behalf of the company, but I'll speak on behalf of Mo. When I first heard that, I was like, yo, like, wait, what is going on? Right? Like, okay, so this dude was like, his mom could have potentially been the plug, like the ultimate plug, right?
Plug.
Also the thing about it, from everything that I kind of know and understand about the sneaker game specifically, and like where we're at with the landscape, he wasn't getting all this product from Nike specifically, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it had to have been bots and other like different stores, mom and pop shops, Foot Locker, whatever the case may be, right? Like to amass how many pairs that looked like he had in some of those photos and whatnot. It's just like, okay, well, you definitely have to have the market cornered, you know what I mean? Because
Right.
like, you're not getting all that inventory specifically from your mom or Nike or whatever. It's impossible because it goes to different places and whatnot, so but I mean, regardless of how he got it, just the story itself was wild, and it's like, you hear about different scandals and whatnot that happen in the business world and whatnot, and this was just one that unfortunately touched where I work, and it was just like, okay, well, they dealt with it, the higher ups dealt with it, however they saw, was best. And I was like, all right, we just keep it moving. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things where it was unfortunate. Like, the kid was just out here hustling. Now, if his mom or whatever was involved in any particular way, shape, or form, then that's very problematic, right? But I mean, I know 1,000,001 resellers. I know 1,000,001 people that got bots and whatnot. So like, for me, it was like, it was just the position of where his mom was at that was shocking. But what he was doing, I was just like, it's a dime a dozen. Like, I got homies who are hitting me right now. It's like, yo, like, what's the resale price? Or you think I should hold on to these or flip these? And they're asking me for sneaker advice because they don't really know. They see StockX, they see prices going up. They're like, all right, should I keep these? Should I get rid of these? What should I do? And I'm like, man, do whatever you want to do. Like, I'm not, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't make the call for you. What you want to do?
I don't make, so it's overall, it's unfortunate where we're at right now with the sneaker game, just because, I mean, like you said, we met on Clubhouse. Like, a lot of the rooms that I've been in and heard people talk about, it's one of those things where it's like accessibility, is one of the things. Like these resellers are, buying shoes to keep them, to sit them on ice and whatnot. Where it's just like, there's kids, there's people who are working, spending their hard-earned money trying to spend their hard-earned money to get a pair of shoes that may have some sentimental value to them for whatever reason. It might be a mother trying to get shoes for her 2 boys or 2 girls or whatever the case is, their first pair of J's, right? It's like, you want to see those people win and get those shoes and all that kind of stuff versus, a reseller just sitting on 15 pairs of sneakers, and it's just like, all right, they want to mark up the price 1,000%. So
selling for regular pair of Jordans is what, 190, 200, or most 225. You selling them for 5 and 6. Like, bro, like,
it's tough.
Not the average person is sitting there with $600 to spend on some shoes.
Exactly. And I tell people, I'm like, I do all right for myself. Like, I work hard, right? As like, I'll also DJ. So it's like, I have multiple streams of revenue, but I still refuse to pay for resale prices right now, at least. I'm like, I feel like the shoes, if I can't hit on them, like, they should go to the people who want them. Like, I want them, but I'm not gonna go. I'm not paying $1,000 for a pair of shoes, like, for some sneakers. Like, I'm not doing that, right? Like, so that's the catch-22 in this all. It's like, how far are you willing to go? And some people are willing to, spend whatever it takes to get whatever shoes that they want. But like, my bucket list, my grail list is through the roof now. Like, you know what I mean? It's long because I haven't hit on a lot of things,
Man, tell me about, I struck the last shoe, and people find it, for some reason, people find it funny when I say this. I've struck out all of 2020.
Yeah.
And 2021. The last shoes I bought was the Breads for 2019 for Christmas. I bought those. That's the last shoes I bought.
I think I hit on sneakers, Black Cat 4s. So that was 2020, top of 2020. like January, February. And that was the last time I hit. And I'm like, it's cool. Like actually, I've been some of the homies, who've done raffle, who own stores and done raffles. I've won their raffle. So I was able to get the University Blue ones that recently came out, and then those taupe fours that came out too. So
those are cold.
Yeah. So I was able to get both of those, and it's like, all right, cool. It was a nice little pick me up, a few months ago. It's like, all right, I liked yours like a month or two ago. So it's like, all right, cool. I'll pull these out in the summertime. But it's like those were, I like them. I don't necessarily love them, right? Like they weren't like high on my list.
Right.
Really one, I'm like, damn, I'm striking out on because everybody wants them or whatever the case. But for me, it's like some people, they're just shoes at the end of the day. So it's like, all right, they'll come back around, hopefully, and maybe I'll be in a different position where maybe I'll pay resale, or maybe I'll have, different means to where I can acquire shoes. Because I always tell people, like, if it's something that I love, it has nothing to do with sneakers specifically. Anything that I love, I'm willing to pay full price for. You know what I mean? It's like I'm not the guy asking for handouts ever, right? I'm like, yo, if I got somebody who can plug me, cool. But if not, I'm always ready and willing to pay whatever that retail sticker looks like. So,
Man, there's definitely nothing wrong with that, because I've always been one of those, especially somebody who worked in retail. It's like, bro, I can't spend all that. Now I may spend a little extra if I needed to, but for some of y'all dudes who I know y'all really don't care about you, y'all just buying and trying to make extra money, which can't not the hustle. But like, bro, especially if I know you and you try to bust my head over, brother, that don't make sense.
Yep.
That don't make sense. But no, Trent, like fast forward, I know we got a few more minutes left.
Okay.
The huge news that that came out probably about a week ago, that the whole deal with Kobe. So I don't know, you don't want to speak on behalf of the company, but speaking as Mo, what was your first initial thoughts on
Kobe's my favorite athlete ever. Any sport, any era, any time. Like that's my guy. Sentimental value for a lot of different reasons. Like I grew up as Kobe grew up, right? And, he was what, 7, 8 years older than me and whatnot. So it was like I felt like I was watching, big brother, big cousin kind of thing, his entire career, trials and tribulations. I saw from beginning to end, right? And that was tough because when I first heard the news, I was like, okay, they're just, renegotiating the contract or whatever the case is, like no big deal, like they'll come to terms eventually. And then another article came out where they're like, okay, well, they're not renewing, they're not negotiating right now, like the deal's officially ended. And I was just like, oh wow, okay. So that was a shock. But there's reports out, and this is public knowledge, like there's reports out about Vanessa, and I think she actually posted, I follow her on Instagram. I think she posted on her Instagram story where she said she wanted Kobe fans to be able to access the product, right? Similar to what I was talking about earlier. So, I don't know if that was part of negotiations or whatever the case is, but she wanted to, kind of mass produce or a little bit, more of quantity to higher volume out there for the people and whatnot. So, I understand the business aspect of it. I understand, Kobe's name, image, likeness, or whatnot, and Vanessa wanting to protect that, and the Bryan estate wanting to protect that as much as they possibly can. My hope is, okay, so one or two things. Like, I would love to see him maybe like Vanessa take the estate and go back to Adidas and kind of maybe relaunch some of those products that he had early on, like those sneakers, and come out with those shoes. Yeah. Come out with those, like do a 1 or 2 year deal where they release all that stuff again for the people, retro that, and then maybe come back to Nike, or just nothing at all, right? Like the idea of like, starting a new imprint without him here to see his creative and artistic design and whatnot. It wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. I wouldn't even knock the Bryan estate at all on Vanessa, because I have the utmost respect, for her, the family, and everything like that. So whatever they choose to do, I'm going to support. But it's like I hope one day that we could find a way to get Kobe's back in circulation again, get the product out to the people, and the Bryant family can we can get into what, because I mean, like I think she did say on record, like or Nick DePaula, I think in the article that he wrote, was talking about how they were looking for more so of a lifetime type deal, like LeBron or Jordan.
Like LeBron and Jordan got, yeah. Which I was kind of surprised that they didn't do a lifetime deal, which I thought it made the most sense to do it now, especially that he's not here. But also, like, everybody knows that, if Kobe was into the shoe, like he was into, like every design. Nothing is going out with his eyes seeing it. Is
Yep.
every dot was dot, every I was dot, every T was crossed.
Absolutely.
And especially for me, for somebody who I've worked in the NBA for forever in 10 days. As I was a ball boy for the Hawks, so I've met Coach from he was 96, and we had our relationship from 96 till he was finished. So so definitely, like you said, like big brother, big cousin type deal. Especially with me meeting him, knowing him by first name basis, cool. It's like, yo, it won't seem right if Cole went to another brand or if they did a Mamba mentality shoe, like something like that with him, and know how he was so into doing shoes. It's like kind of, the whole Nike thing. Who's gonna tell the stories?
Because I mean, part of it, honestly, it's like you even think about, he put detail on the map on ESPN, and it's like listening to Kobe break down players and their game in different situations, right? Watching those Kobe commercials, those Mamba mentality commercials, right? That Nike was doing with Kobe. It's like not getting that voiceover for him on something that could be potentially tied to him. I'm like, I understand, like I said, with all due respect, I completely get it if that's the route that they want to go. But for me, it's like you said, like it's that association, Kobe and Nike, Mamba mentality and Nike, like that logo and the swoosh, right? It's the colorways, the lows, like everything about Kobe's sneaker with Nike. It's been beautiful. It's been beautiful to kind of watch the evolution of his particular brand under the Nike umbrella. So I hope one day we can bring it all back together. Bring it all back together. I don't know this to be fact, right? I don't think there's any bad blood or whatever the case is. So I'm just hoping one day we could all circle the wagons essentially and get Kobe's back out there to the people.
Right, like you said, because I mean, it's kind of like a family thing. Like, you gotta branch away a little bit. Everybody like a kid. All right, Kobe graduated. All right, he's going to college. Go see. Saying how you want to grow up, how you want to, where you want to veer off to, which lane you want to go into, and then after a while, everybody knows you always come back home.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Everybody breaks away a little bit, and then you come back home, and then it makes sense because, like you said, it's Kobe, swoosh, Mamba mentality. I mean, it does it unless you go to Adidas and, like you said, remake the Crazy Eights and the Moon Boots shoes.
Nothing new, just what he did before.
We don't need nothing. We don't need nothing new. But just those three shoes he did with Adidas, and that was it. But because you went from when Kobe joined with 2003. Yeah, because you're the free agent for those 2 years. Because he was in Jordans and Reeboks and all that. So from 2003 to 2021, like that is a long gap. That's a long time for shoes.
Yeah.
And even though I know she gets the point of she want to have accessibility and people getting Kobe shoes, you want to keep it a buck. Like Kobe shoes are a hooping shoe.
Yeah.
It's not like it's
not a lifestyle joint.
It's not a lifestyle shoe. Like Jordan are turning to lifestyle shoes now.
Yeah.
Like it's not that. So I've had that conversation with people. Oh, well, Kobe's. I said, bro, Kobe's shoe is a basketball shoe. It's a performance shoe. It's not. You very rarely go see somebody, if anybody, for real, throw on a fit. It's a Kobe's. Possibly, maybe. I mean, unless if it's a one-on-one, or if you have some shorts or something like that, yeah, probably, maybe. But it is a performance shoe, which I get. So it's kind of it's one of those, like, he's a performance shoe, he's not a lifestyle shoe. Like, how would you market that now that he's not here?
Yeah.
So because now most of the shoes he's wearing is the Kobe Sixes. So that's what most of the players are wearing now.
Exactly.
So it's like, you got Devin Booker, and I always say, like, with those players who I thought they should have kind of did like how Jordan did. Jordan has Zion and all them. Well, Kobe has DeMar, Devin Booker, Ja Morant, AD.
He was wearing,
all of those guys. PJ.
Yep.
Hey, PJ need to get his own shoe. Okay, I'm on record. Been saying it for forever. PJ Tucker need to get his own shoe, lifestyle shoe. I don't care what he does. Because I don't know if you seen the shoes he had last night, the Puerto Rico fives.
The Carmelo joints.
Carmelo joints, and Melo was like, how'd you
even get them? Because Melo only has a pair. I saw that story today, actually. Melo only has one pair, and he was asking Melo for a pair. He's like, bro, I only got one. Like, what do you want me to do? He's like, I'm gonna find them, don't worry. And then he pulls it up, and Melo's like, yo, how?
I don't know how PJ Tucker does it.
Yeah.
And this comes from somebody who's seen, like, people don't understand the thing how PJ Tucker goes. I've really seen PJ Tucker change shoes 4 times in one game. No lies. He came pregame workouts, wore a shoe.
Yep.
Left, came back warm-ups, wore a shoe. Different shoes. I'm like, what the how? Then halftime, changed to another shoe.
And your shoe.
Then probably 4 quarters, if that wasn't working for him, he changed another shoe. I'm like, yo, bro, like most dudes I've seen probably go maybe 2 shoes for a game, possibly. But you with 4 shoes within a 3-hour span. Like, bro, like, yo, that's
PJ a wild boy when it comes to the sneakers, man. That like he's different when it comes to sneakers.
I said, for like, hey, I just need to, you know what I'm saying? I know we wear the same size. You like to give a lot of shoes, especially now you in Milwaukee now. Like, hey, PJ, if you see this, bro, you know what I'm saying? Hey, man, throw your boy. I don't care what it is, bro. Some codes, some anything. Me and Mo, you know what I'm saying? You want to throw us some shoes, by all means.
Man, I'll take a signed pair, put them in a case, trophy case kind of thing, right? Like, you know, PJ is a, you know, he's a sneaker. He's well respected in the sneaker community, sneaker legend. I got number like I did. It wasn't me. I was a part of a room that was focused on PJ and his sneakers and whatnot and his collection on Clubhouse. I want to say 2 months ago, and he was just kind of talking about his entire collection, favorite sneakers, all that kind of stuff, like how many shoes he has. I forgot the number that he said he had. But he has
beyond
thousands, right? So it's like, you know, it was just dope listening to him talk about him and you know, his passion and love for sneakers in general and how he, you know, acquired, and not necessarily acquired, but how he acquired the love for the sneakers that he has now and then how he built out his collection. So that was pretty dope just to hear, you know, from the man himself. You know, it's ridiculous.
The man, the myth, the legend.
That's a fact.
I know nobody's going to beat PJ. I mean,
yeah.
I don't.
No ball player, at least. No ball player. I was
no ball player, at least. I mean, we know, of course, people who've on Jordan and stuff. Yeah, we know they. Yeah. Like CP and Melo. Yeah,
MJ, I'm actually curious to see what MJ's collection looks like what he got as far as like rare 101s and, you know, different PEs and things like that. Like that'd be somebody I want to see. But other than that, I'm like, I think PJ he probably has the best variety of everything.
Right, a variety, because he kind of wears everybody who's on Nike. He'll break out he'll wear, knowing him, he'll probably wear a 95 or something like that, or 97, or something ridiculous. The hoop in for the first 6 minutes, gonna change the shoes, put some Kobe's on. Like, just, I get it. He does it. I understand. I see what he be doing. Like the first half, you know, he'll get the pictures. He gonna put them up there. All right, he gonna put some Kobe's on.
Now it's time to hoop.
All right, now it's time to hoop. The first 6 minutes, all right, y'all get that pictures. All right, go to the back, switch your shoes out. Like he did the other night. The other night he had some sixes I ain't never seen before. He wore those for like the first 6 to 8 minutes and changed into Kobe's. Like, bro, it's unfair. It's really like you really want to hate, but you want to congratulate.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta show love at the end of the day. It's like, damn, you know, it's one of those things that's like, I tell people, I'm like, yo, the fact that he's able to and I mean, like people always joke, it's like, okay, well, he's able to wear all these different shoes because he's not doing the things on the court that, let's say, a LeBron or a Giannis, like he doesn't need a specific performance shoe for his, you know, game or his body type or whatever the case is. So he's able to play around a lot with different shoes and just kind of get looks off in the court just based off of his feet and whatnot. And I was just like, yeah, you know, that's a good point. Like it was actually funny. Like I knew PJ was out here to get, you know, give us these sneaker looks when I saw him in the Fear of God joints. I saw him the Fear of God I was just like, yo, bro, because I tried them on. I'm like, wait, you hooped in these? I have a pair. I haven't worn yet. Like I think I got them before, like, probably like late 2019. And I was gonna pull them out summer last year, but it was a pandemic. So it's like, all right, well, I'm just letting it sit on ice. I try them on a couple times every now and then. I'll pull them out. And I'm like, wait, PJ really hooped in these. Like, I can't.
And that's not a basketball shoe.
I can't even, like, I'm like, these joints is different to even wear and walk in and whatnot. Like, you know, but he's out here hooping in them. So I'm like, yo, respect, man. That's all love. Like, he's a sneaker king for just that alone in my eyes.
Just for that. And I always thought it was Gilbert at one point when I remember the time when Gilbert wore the Versace shoes. Like,
Versace joints,
Versace, like.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a flex that goes down in you know, street basketball lore. Like he wore Versace sneakers to hoop. It was just like, all right, and he knew what he was doing. So like Gilbert's one of them, jokester type dudes where he's like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna pull these Versace's off. I'm gonna be out here looking fresh than a mug. Like he's
And the Versace had on master jerseys that they had on, and
yep,
you
yep.
look like, what is Versace?
Versace, exactly. That's how you throw somebody off on the court where you wearing it. Like they look down, like, yo, what are those? What's that? Wow, those are Versace. Like, yeah.
Yeah, Versace, yeah. And I'm at the same
Gilbert,
time, I give you 30 at the same time. Like,
exactly. Cooking cats. Gilbert was cold.
so before we get out of here,
Okay.
since I know you are a sneaker lover, give me your top 5
Ooh.
kicks of all times.
Oh wow, of all time. Who?
If you have nothing else to do but to wear those last 5.
Oh man. Okay, let me see. I'm looking around. I'm gonna do a couple that I absolutely love. And then I'm gonna throw like 1 or 2 functional shoes in there,
Okay.
like every day. So Chicago Jordan 1s. That's probably it for me. That's probably my grail that I don't have. I want. I'm gonna continue to try and get after, right? Like anytime they re-release. Chicago 1s. Let's go to the 4s, and I'll say, I mean, honestly, like I'm pretty simple. Like I love my Black Cat 4s. I love a black sneaker in general,
Black
right?
sneaker, yeah, can't go.
Yeah, minus the Air Force Ones, right? Minus the Air
But
Force Ones.
mine's Air Force One. But like
Yeah.
you have, like you want to like, I got a bunch of black shoes, but it's something about it. Hey, let me get those too, man. Let me get them too.
Right. Yeah, you could never go wrong. So with those, I'll probably say, yeah, Chicago was Black Cat 4s. Ooh, let me see. What else do I got in my closet right now that I really, really love? I'm gonna, for a functional everyday shoe, I'm gonna say a Cold Wall Nike Zoom Vomero collaboration. That's the everyday shoe. I don't need this sitting in my bedroom over there, but that's my everyday. Just ever since I got them, I doubled up on both white and black, and I'm still wearing the first pair, right? A couple 2 years later, 3 years, whatever long it's been since they came out, and the black ones are my go-to shoe. That's the
Right.
shoe I throw on for everything. So I would definitely have that one in there for functionality, just everyday type stuff. 2 more shoes. Let me see. Trying to think down the line. What do I really love?
But don't worry about it. I killed Bradley Beal and John Morant and some of the guys with these questions. They were like, oh yeah.
Yeah, right. Like I'm sitting there thinking, like, damn, okay. I gotta throw an Air Max silhouette in there. Let me throw the Air Max. Let's go 97 silhouette. Yeah, let's go 97. I love 90s, but I'm gonna go 97. And then lastly, give me a Kobe. Give me a Kobe. Kobe 10, maybe? Kobe
The high
10.
top one?
Like the high top joints,
The
like
high top
something's
ones?
different. Yeah. Let me throw something like I love the Grinches. I don't have a pair of Grinches too, and ever since those came out, I've loved those. So it's like I do want a pair of Grinches eventually. But if I'm keeping it all, Nike based in the family, like that, those will probably be my 5. So I got, some joints that I can rock, if I want to put together a fit in the Chicago 1s, the Black Cats, right? Got my everyday shoes, the Zoom Vomeros, Air Max, another, casual, but I can also throw something together with that too. And then the Kobe's in case I need to hoop somebody, it's like if somebody needs some buckets,
I'm about to say, keep them in the trunk. Hey, just let them know.
Yeah,
hey,
just in case,
just in case
we
I need to get down real quick. We get
ready,
down. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, don't get
I
it
would say,
twisted.
yeah. That's a quick 5 off the top. I'm looking because I got sneakers in one closet, I got sneakers in the bedroom. I'm like, damn, like what, I wish I could see through the walls right now and see what I got. Like, but I didn't even think, like, coming into this, like I might get asked some sneaker questions, because it's like you always think you got them off the top. Like, here's one of my favorite joints out right now: the Blue, the Great, the Mids.
Man, I slept on those so hard, and then now I see one of my partners, and I was like, hey,
these are one of my favorite shoes I've ever owned, right? So and quick story behind this one, it was I didn't get them when they originally released. So I was at our employee store out here, and I'm just walking through the aisles like I usually do. I usually just walk straight back to the sneakers first, even if I know I'm going in for something specifically, walk straight to the sneakers and I'll just, do laps in between the aisles to see what's new, see what's there. And I seen them pushing out the big cart, with some shoes on there. And I seen some Jordan boxes. I was like, all right, cool. Let's see what they're, putting on the shelves. The dude, he puts them up there and I see the sample go up and I was just like, you know what? Those are the gray joints. I've seen them in pictures. I didn't know if I was going to like them because a lot of times I'll see joints in pictures and I don't
And
know if
they
I'll
don't
really,
look.
I don't
Yeah,
know, right?
you see
But
him in your face.
I see him in face. So I saw him. I was like, okay, they're mids, but they're a collaboration. So I'll definitely enjoy these, right? And there was I'm a 9.5. There's only one 9.5, and I'm 33 years old, and I was like, the dude who I think was maybe like a teenager, 18, 19, maybe a little bit younger. I don't know, right? He was standing there. We were both kind of eyeing and saying, I looked down at his feet. He's like, he looked like he might be a size 9.5. And so you can't really grab anything until they're done setting everything up or whatever. So he started pushing the rack away, to go set up the next, batch of shoes or whatever. I swooped in there, grabbed the only 9.5.
Let me get those real quick.
I said, I grabbed those. So what it was is like I had homies in town and I took them up to the store out there. And so like I was just kind of looking, I didn't come in to buy anything, right? Because I was just there. It was right around the holidays. This was 2019, I think it was, right? And so right when I grabbed the shoes, I walked straight to the checkout, bought them joints, went and sat in the car. I was like, all right, and I've been in love with them ever since. This is my go-to Jordans right now. Like this the only Jordan. Those are my black Cat 4s I wear all the time. So
I'm about to say you had a smooth little win. So I think my top 5.
Right. Because then there's others like Air Force One silhouette. Like there's some collaborations like the Barclays, the Gary Payton joints. I'm from Seattle. Like there's so many coming to mind now. I'm like other silhouettes of Jordans too. Like I didn't say, I love 2s, I love 5s. Like there's a lot.
I love 2s. I love 2s. I love 3s. I mean, anybody know I'll stay in the cement 3s.
Yeah. 3s. I didn't even say cement 3s. Yeah.
The band 1s, Carolina 1s.
Yeah. Shattered backboard joints.
Space Jams or Concords or Breads.
Yeah, we were talking about the Fear of God joints. I love the Fear of God joints too. Like, you know what I mean? It's a new silhouette.
It's really hard to pick just 5.
Yeah.
But it's like, if I had to go, if I was stranded and I had these 5, it's like, all right, I'm going to have a 9. I like the Sean Witherspoon Air Maxes.
That'd be my 97 right there. That'd be
I
my
love 97. Yeah. He transitioned and went to the other side. It's cool.
Yeah. Him and
Jeremy.
Yeah.
Transitioned went to the other side. It's cool.
Still love.
If you had, some Yeezys.
Okay.
Some of those. I ain't never had them. I know I had a chance to get one, but I was like, I couldn't see myself to buy that. I was like,
true story. I've never owned a pair of Yeezys. Like I said, I've been in Nike 3.5 years now, almost, right? And even before I got to Nike, I was trying to get Yeezys and sold out, missed every time. So I've never owned a pair of Yeezys. That if I'm a Nike lifer, I'll probably never own a pair of Yeezys. So we'll see what the future holds. But he got some dope silhouettes over there. There's some dope silhouettes that I really like. So
he do because it's like I said, I had a chance to get. I was like, I just can't. I can't see myself breaking my whole life savings for it. Felt like on some shoes. I just can't do it.
I feel you.
I was like, so yeah, I'm going for my 5. I'm gonna go band 1s.
Okay.
Cement 3s.
Okay.
Olympic 7s.
Ooh, okay.
Sean Witherspoons.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go, since I'm from Atlanta, I gotta go some 95s. Because that's just Atlanta shoe. So you got a 95 silhouette. And just for a throw-in shoe, I'm gonna go any 11 silhouette. Any 11 silhouette. And shout out to y'all. Thank God y'all bringing back the Cool Gray 11s. Thank God.
Great, yeah. Cool Gray coming later this year, holiday season.
Thank God. When I saw the news, I was ecstatic. I still got my last one that came out, but they squeaking a little bit on the toe.
I like 11s, so I'm not like it's not a top. It might be a top 5. I don't know if it's a top 5 Jordan for me. That's the thing too. It's like I
I
love
think
one.
I think Space Jam did it for
Yeah, it
I
did
think
for a lot
Space
of
Jam
people.
did it.
Yeah, it did it for
And
a lot of people. But like, I don't know if it's the patent leather. I don't know if it's just the size of the shoe, right? Because
it's
it's a
so
pretty
bulky,
big shoe. It's a bulky shoe, right? Like,
bulky too.
yeah. But that this I gotta think about that. There's like ones, threes, fours for sure. I'll probably throw some fives in there, and maybe like it would be between the twos, the nines, and did I say tens too? Twos, nines, tens, 11s. Like
Tens be slept on so much too.
yeah, tens is slept on. Tens is definitely slept on. I got another pair of tens in there that I gotta clean up. I got the shoes that I just be wearing in the mud and whatnot.
Ooh.
Like I gotta clean these joints up. Like this is one that I started on. The other one's hella muddy or whatever. But I did a DJing event, not knowing that it was gonna be outside. I did it actually back like months ago, back in November, I think it was.
Oh, you ain't never little soap water to bust on those
Exactly,
real quick.
exactly. So I'm gonna get those back right, But it's like I love tens. Honestly, I really do. Tens probably make my top 5. So
Yeah, tens are definitely even the hooping tens are comfortable hooping.
Yeah, very
Ain't too many Jordans now that are
that
really
work.
comfortable
Yeah,
with hooping at OGs, but tens are
yep.
definitely is a great hooping shoe.
That's a fact. That's a
But
fact.
nah, definitely you know what I'm saying, good to get out of here, man. I definitely appreciate you, man. You know what I'm saying?
Brandon, appreciate
Let
you,
my
man.
audience know where they can find you on via social media.
Yeah, no, I'm around. So yeah, like I said, Nike, that's the day job. I also DJ. So if anybody's looking for a DJ, feel free to holler at me. All my socials across the board. THEINTL files, the international file. So
I was trying to figure out what it meant. I was like, okay, I got it.
The international files. I abbreviated international there. So Instagram, Twitter, Clubhouse. I'm on Clubhouse. My name Mona Joku. Just look me up. I'm outside. I'm here. So always down to chop it up with people. I appreciate you reaching out too. It's like I've had a couple people reach out, want to do some things or whatnot. So this is the first time, or maybe second time I've sat down with somebody, kind of chopped it up. It's the first podcast I've done. So this is definitely dope. Appreciate you. Let me know when it drops. I'll plug it, support it, whatever the case. Everything.
I got you.
So yeah, it's
all
all
love. Come to Atlanta, man. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. I've never been to the A. That's one thing. It's like I've never been to the A, and I told people, second this is over, and well, I mean, Atlanta's wide open, so I can pull up anytime.
We've been open since May of last year.
Exactly. Like I'm fully vaccinated now, so it's one of those things now where I can pull up, right? So it's like, I'm definitely have to figure out on my southern tour, because I know later this year I'm gonna be out, Florida a little bit, so it's like I may have to just stop by in Atlanta, or at least fly through there, stop for a couple days, and kind of chop it up with some of y'all down there. So we'll definitely stay in touch, man.
Definitely. No, I definitely appreciate it, man. And, definitely another episode of These Urban Times presents Sideline Stories, aka Sneaker Talk, with your boy Kings Kicks ATL, Brandon Triche. You can follow me at all social medias as ceotriche, that is CEOTRICHE, or Kings Kicks ATL, that is KINGKICKZ ATL. Follow the station, Live Hip Hop Daily, and These Urban Times. We'll see you again. Peace.